This is a quick video on how to do organs for combis without having the Leslie effects interfere with each other. Here I have an organ that I selected. It was made from one of the presets and just kind of tweaked it for my own liking. It uses both the built-in Leslie and an IFX setup, which many of the internal factory ones do. It has a nice sound to it, and up in the highs, the little horn speaker in the Leslie really kind of barks, which is nice. That's something I'm always looking for in my Leslie sound. In order to use this in a combi, because it's hard to do the drawbars in any kind of real-time circumstance. If you're trying to play and reach over with your hand, you can see that sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't. And using the drag sometimes gives you the results you want, and other times, as you can see here, they're not really responsive. So you kind of take your time, and that's not when you're playing. You want these drawbars to adjust instantly to what you want, not taking their good old time. So what I did was first I came up with a sound that was not using the IFX. It's just using the internal Leslie effect. It's a little more, I don't know, hollow sounding. So it's not bad. I like to bite a little bit of the one that uses both IFX and the internal, but this was just to see how decent of a sound I could get with just using the CX3 engine's Leslie speaker. Then what I came up with was the next preset, which is not using the CX3's Leslie or preamp and just using the IFX bus. Now, the reason this is good is if you put 4 different organs in here for your ARP scenes and you start the Leslie spinning up on organ 1, if you're using the CX3's effects, you'll have a Leslie spinning fast on one voice, spinning slow on another voice, and sometimes things get kind of weird with the sound as the Nautilus tries to process what's going on. Using the one that uses the combination of both the internal and external gets even worse. Things completely get out of sync with fast and slow Leslie speed. So the way that works best is if you have a single chain of effects for your organ, and then you run each of the individual organs into that same chain and let that chain handle your Leslie effects. And the nice thing is, if you can read it here, I have the reverb first. That goes then into the amp model, then into the actual rotating speaker, which is how it should work for real. And the nice thing about this is if you use distortion on here, which undistorted will bring up the distortion. If I pull back volume with the expression pedal, the distortion will clear up like it should. So now no distortion, and as I put the drive with the pedal back up, it starts to distort, and that's more true to what you're looking for. I have the reverbs a little deeper to get more spring-like. So I have a nice sound there, and then what I like to do is put that into a combi, and I'll show you those settings here in a second. Is where do I keep that combi at? That's the wrong one. You know what? It's probably over here. Organ 3, there we go. So in this setup, if you look on the tone adjust page and you go to the third set of settings, those are your drawbar settings for each of the 4 organs I have layered here. So there's organ 1, organ 2, organ 3, organ 4, all drawbars out. And you can preset them here, and then you use ARP scenes. And here goes organ, the first one, second one, third one, Fourth one. If I add the Leslie in and jump, it stays. Same thing with the overdrive. It will stay at the settings that I have it set with the, I have them assigned to the controller knobs 5 and 6. And that stays through there. So that way, a good example of that might be if you want to play Refugee, Tom Petty, and you have your four scenes would be the 6 drawbars. The next one is just the 3. The next one would be in the section of the song where he's just using the 3 uppers. And then you can cycle through those here. It's not as nice as drawing the drawbars so you can hear the sound change as you're pulling them. But on the Nautilus, it gives you a way to quickly get to those sounds without having to fight the unresponsive touchscreen. Back to the sound of that organ. Oops. Which I just lost. Which is this one. So the way this works is I set the organ settings to try and match what I had in the other organs. And then I took all the Leslie, so it's just the wrong one, isn't it? Nope. Okay, that's the right one. Took the Leslie settings and moved those to the IFX settings, and then you have to tweak it. You have to tweak EQs. There's a lot of things that for some reason doesn't translate one for one from using the CX3's built-in Leslie sounds to using the IFX chain. So my standard drawbars are these. These settings here won't matter because this is off. Same thing with the amp settings. Over here, this has all been bypassed. And that stuff now is over in the IFX chain here. And so in this one, we go to IFX1. And this is an example of the settings I have for the reverb, including the control knob setting. Number 2 is going to be the amp model, including the response curve here. And you can see the settings I picked for the various parameters. And the third one is the actual speaker itself. And you can see here, and again, some of these parameters I've just took from the CX3 engine, brought them over. I noticed they weren't quite sounding the same, so just kind of tweaked them. And I'm not 100% happy, but this works out pretty good. The organ in this, organs in most keyboards, it's pretty easy sound to make, to emulate the drawbars, to emulate the click, to emulate the feedback, the harmonics. Where everybody seems to mess up is when it comes to the amp modeling and the actual speaker simulation itself. I have the VB3 virtual organ from Krumar on an iPad next to me, and it to me it sounds authentic. The Korg doesn't sound authentic, but it does a good job in a live situation. I've had people tell me how great it is. And again, once you get through a PA system and everything else, it gets hard to tell. That you just don't get that studio quality discernment in a live situation. So this board does great for live practices, small environments. In the studio, I would probably pick something else. And that's hopefully that is the information that you folks were looking for. If not, let me know. Thanks.